everyone. This is Liz Cross. Thank you all for being here. And we are going to do a consciousness transformation technique workshop this evening. This will be going out on our main channel, not the CTT channel, because we want more people to become familiar with the CTT and to also subscribe to that CTT channel. It is free energy healing. We have a lot of people from our main group here. We have a group every Monday morning where we work together. Listen, it's the best group around. I have to say it. It is the best group. And we work very hard at bringing about healing. Usually takes an hour, and then I hold for questions afterwards. So CTT, what exactly is it? Well, it's hard to really explain, but it's born out of the emotional freedom technique. It uses bilateral tapping and a script, and this script promotes energetic healing. Now, there are protocols, and again, if you want to familiarize yourself with these protocols, you will need to go to the CTT channel. You may not understand it the first few times you do it. That's okay. We have come across that the time frame to understand it is really, to really know what you're doing is about 6 months, okay? Then you start to feel comfortable at using it. You know the script, you understand how it works, you understand how to protect yourself, you understand how energy works, and then you start using it in your everyday life. Now, the big powerhouse of the CTT is the past life regression. Those are one-on-one appointments. That's not something that's done in the group, but it figures out why you are, who you are, what you are, why you have these patterns in your life. And for those of you that go onto my website and book past life readings, I use a little bit of the past life regression to come up with these patterns that you have in your life, in your current lifetime, that have bled through from previous lifetimes, and you just can't seem to shake them. And I'm sorry, I know some of you are waiting for those answers, and I opened that up. It's a very popular, high demand booking, and I ended up with almost 100 in one day. So I've had to shut that back down, and I'm slowly making my way through them. So I'm sorry if you are in the queue. I am trying to get to you. All right, so there's different aspects for the CTT and what you can use the CTT for. George Duisman is the original creator of the CTT. He's no longer with us. He passed away in 2022, so a couple of years ago now, but he always stands in on all of our group sessions and individual sessions as well. He's always there. He's always helping and guiding us. So we're so appreciative. I channel him, and he gives us a lot of good information. So George came up with the 4-minute miracle, excuse me, which I don't think is a 4-minute miracle. I think it's a lot longer than that. I have changed quite a bit since George has created the CTT. The 4-minute miracle now has protocols. You must open and you must close responsibly. There's the past life sessions. You can use it to manifest. You can use the CTT to manifest in the affirmation tail ender process, or just by simply following a manifestation tapping script. You can do surrogate tapping. Well, you can tap on behalf of other people, and that is extremely effective. You would be surprised how effective that is. It also depends a lot on the other person. Excuse me, I was just taking a drink. The other person, if they're wanting to heal and change somewhere in their energy field, there is this knowing that they need to heal, that they need to change. It seems to make the process go a lot more smoothly and a lot faster. There's tapping for insights, which George always said was one of the most powerful things you could possibly do. When you're stuck in situations, you need help making decisions, you don't know where you're headed in life, You can tap for insights, and you'll be surprised how much insight you will get. You can tap to clear blockages. You can tap to heal emotions, trapped emotions in and around the body. You can tap for protection, grounding and protection. You can do group tapping, which is what we do every Monday. And then there's the victim perpetrator healing. Okay, so there's seems to be, when we go into past lives, there's three sort of stances that we take. We either take the victim, we're the victim of the trauma, we're the perpetrator of the trauma, or we're the witness to the trauma. Okay, and all you have to do is turn on the news every day and you're witnessing trauma, trauma, trauma. Okay, but a lot of times in the past life, we find that where you were the victim in one lifetime, in another lifetime, you could be the perpetrator. And so you're just going round and round in this karmic cycle of karmic debt. Oh, this lifetime you kill me, next lifetime I kill you. This lifetime you beat me, next lifetime I beat you. And oftentimes souls just get stuck in these destructive patterns, and the CTT can help you release that. So there's a lot that can be gained from adding the CTT in your life. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to take some questions that were on the Patreon about the CTT and just try to, untangle some of these CTT mysteries. So the first question, and I'm going to try to get to everybody's question tonight, but please forgive me if I don't. So the first question is, another time, could you please do, wait a minute, sorry. Thank you, Stephanie. That was transit charts. So transit charts are something that Mr. Shakespeare has on our Discord, and they're highly accurate, especially if you want to do day trading. Okay. So first question, is it important or not important to tap on the let go and heal middle part of CTT? Okay, so basically with CTT, you want to tap all the way from the first part, which is there's a part of me that knows how to, which is opening the round, okay? And you want to keep tapping all the way through to so be it, it is done. Okay, let go and heal. Yes. Manifest. Yes. Take a deep breath. Yes. You just keep tapping all the way through. Now, how do we tap? Some people tap going 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 on their left arm. Some people tap going 1 1 1 1 1 on their right arm. I don't tend to do that. As you know, those of you in the group, I do 1 1 1 1 1 1. Why do I do that? If you find old videos of George Duisman on YouTube, and you feel free to look them up. His last name is spelled Duisman, George Duisman. You'll see that he's going left, 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 right, 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 right. Through the CTT process, we are always refining it and making it better. And I find it is more balanced and it keeps the energy more balanced if I go 1 1 1 1, left, right, left, right, left, right. So to answer that question, yes, you need to tap all the way through the round. Okay. All right. Here's our next, which there's a set of questions here, and this person is all into the CTT, and we're so appreciative. If you do a lot of CTT to remove blocks before your Kundalini energy rises, would that energy then have less blocks to penetrate through? So I think when you're talking about the Kundalini, it's like the awakening and it's bringing the energy upwards. You could do a more specific approach of doing CTT to empower the Kundalini, to make the Kundalini more powerful, to feel it more. You can do the CTT to remove any blockages to opening your third eye, opening the Kundalini, opening your chakras, opening your solar plexus, opening communication. If you want to better your meditation, say you're one of those people that just cannot meditate, well, you can use the CTT to try to help you do that. There's lots of uses for the CTT. I mean, it really is. When we did our session on Monday of becoming unlimited, CTT really is, for the most part, unlimited. I would say that it does have a couple of limitations that I am aware of. One, and this is very repetitive for our people in the group, but I have to let the wider audience know. One is that it does not stop the dying process. Okay. The aging and the dying process. If you think that you're going to CTT yourself into, never dying, you're going to live to 150, 200, whatever, that's not going to happen, because before you got to the earth plane, your soul already contracted when you were coming here and when you were leaving. And that could bring about a whole nother avenue of questioning of whether CTT can break soul contracts. But when I have done CTT on someone who is dying or in the late stages of the aging process, there was nothing I could do. The soul kept coming into me saying, listen, Liz, I'm so out of here. You're wasting your time. You're not going to be able to stop me. Now, the second thing that I find that CTT cannot do, well, it actually can do, but you should not use it for this, is to directly focus on health ailments. So, for instance, you have a foot that hurts you and you're having trouble walking because of this foot, or you have knee pain, or whatever it is you have that is directly like associated with a health ailment, right? So there's something going on. Maybe you can't swallow. Maybe you've got hip pain. Whatever it is, do not go for the actual ailment. Okay, so you wouldn't go, there's a part of me that knows how to let go and heal all of this knee pain. Okay, that's not solving the issue. There is a reason for that knee pain to be there. There is a reason that that area broke down in the first place. And you have to find the root cause, which is often rooted in trauma and negative emotions. Okay. So trying to just tackle the knee pain, that's not going to help. But if you target what emotions you stored and you have stored in that area your entire current lifetime and possibly a past lifetime or many past lifetimes, now you're going to start clearing out the energy. Everything is energy. Energy, cancer is energy. Arthritis is energy. Mental illness is energy. And energy always has a consciousness. So there'll be a consciousness in that energy lurking behind that knee pain. You have to tackle that. The other thing I will say about the CTT is it's a process. Okay, if you come to the CTT and you expect all your problems to go away in one session, that is just totally unrealistic. Don't even try it. That's not going to happen. But if you come to the CTT and you're working through all of these many, many layers of negative energy that has been built up over many, many lifetimes, not just this current lifetime, but all of your past lives, then now you're going to start making a difference, because what we do know from the CTT is that everything is in layers. That's why we do rounds. Okay. We'll go in, we'll do a round, we'll peel off a layer of energy or a few layers of energy, close the round, and then we see what's next. Why do we do that? Well, because oftentimes when we pull off that one layer or several layers of energy, there's a whole bunch of new layers there that were lurking underneath those top layers. And if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you've got to remove as many of those layers as you possibly can. Now, can you do it all in one session? Maybe. Yes. Sometimes if the problem is something that is so small, like if it's a road rage incident, or you were embarrassed at some time, or maybe you had a bad date with someone and you just want to forget about it, or an argument, those small events, yes, you can heal those in just one round of tapping or one session. But then when you start getting into more complex issues like relationships, why your soul has created a lifetime of struggle for you here on the earth plane, why you have so much anxiety, depression, mental illness, trouble at work, those are very complex issues. Why am I always broke? Why is it every time I try to get ahead, I fail? Why is it my soul pushes me into a corner and doesn't allow me to get out? Okay. Those types of problems are so complex. It needs a lot of CTT, but it's better to work through them. I know you're probably all sighing out there. I'm sorry. Oh God, Liz, you mean we got to do hard work? Yes, you have to put the work in, right? Your personal healing is hard work. So you will have to do many sessions, but when you get through the other side of whatever it is that's bothering you, you will feel so amazingly empowered. You will not even know the person who you were prior to the CTT. You become this completely different person. Now, if you have psychic ability, mediumship ability, intuition, you do a lot of the CTT, you're going to start to increase those abilities. That's just a natural thing that occurs with doing the CTT over a long period of time. And I will say the CTT does get very addictive as well. Okay, on to more questions. When doing CTT every day or every week for a long period of time, could short breaks be helpful for you to come back and look at it with fresh eyes? Absolutely. Okay. So you're going to have to treat this almost like remote viewing. When you're doing a remote view, okay, and I know that there's a lot of people that are throwing that term out there on YouTube now, and they're not remote viewers. I'm sorry to say that. They've never taken a remote viewing course in their life. They have no idea what they're doing. Remote viewing is a structured protocol, and it takes a long time to learn. So if you say to the person that's pretending to be a remote viewer, hey, tell me about your ideograms, and they're looking at you blankly, they have no idea what they're doing, and they don't know what a remote view session is. What a remote view session does, it basically states your name, and this is what you could put on a piece of paper, right? You put it on the remote viewing protocol is the top right-hand corner of the paper. I don't know why I like the top left-hand corner, but you put your name, the current date, the time zone, and your location. Then you may want to put, I'm doing a CTT session for my anxiety. Just let's say anxiety. Now, you know that doing a CTT session for your anxiety is pretty big, right? And you know that maybe you have dedicated a whole day to work on that anxiety. And you're going to have breaks in between. Okay, that's just, you can't just sit there doing it the whole day, right? It's tiring. So you put your start time at the top of that piece of paper. So I'm going to start at 9 a.m. and your time zone, Eastern time zone. I'm starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, whatever. And you can start going through and doing your CTT, but now you're getting tired. You're getting tired and you want to take a break. Okay. Now you have two things that you can do at this point. If you know it's going to be a short break, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, you can write on your paper, pausing at, I don't know, 10:45 a.m. Pacific time, Eastern time, whatever your time zone is. Okay. But you're only going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. When you come back, you can pick right back up and you can hit restart. Restart 11 a.m. Okay. Now, what are you doing? You're telling the matrix, you're telling spirit, you're telling your spiritual helpers, your divine team, your guides, you're telling all of them, hey, I got to take a break right now. Your soul, I'm taking a break. This is the current time. I'm pausing here and I'm restarting there. Okay. Now, if you're going to take a break, you've opened responsibly. And for those of you that are wondering what the opening responsibly is, you'll have to go to the CTT channel and find that out. You have to open responsibly if you're doing a let go and heal session. And that means we're letting go of energy in the session. We're doing so responsibly. We are transmuting it in a responsible way. We're not creating negative karmic debt. We're being very, very good people, right? Because we don't want any bad stuff happening. But you're going to take a break for a good hour or two. Then I would say stop the session. I would close it down. Okay. Because an hour or two is a long time for dark energy to come fill in the space that you just opened up. So you want to close that session down. And you do the closing. Again, the closing script is on the CTT channel. I would just close it. And then when you want to restart again, you just restart afresh. You open responsibly. You do your manifestation. I want to get rid of my anxiety, easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to go through life without feeling crippled by anxiety. Okay, the part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. Then you just restart it and you just keep working on that anxiety. You will then clear out your negatives and say you want another break. Okay, now you're going to close again. Now, the person that asked this question, very interesting. We did a CTT session, and so, CTT is not easy to do. And what I'm saying is the protocol is easy, but the fallout can sometimes be hard. And you can feel difficult emotions after your CTT session. So this person in particular, we came across that she was depressed. And after the CTT session, when you're working through all of these difficult emotions, and we've uncovered a lot of trauma, not only in the past life, but in the current lifetime, it can make you feel sad, right? So this person who asked these questions, she went on like a CTT marathon. And that was on the Sunday night. By Wednesday, she was happier than she had been in years. Okay. So, that's why she's asking this question, because she went on a CTT marathon and she basically cleared out the sadness and depression. Now, the other thing with the CTT is the big reveal. And the big reveal comes when most of the time, I mean, you can have it in your own life, but a lot of times people want to go to me and use their time, their booking, to do a past life regression CTT on their husband, their wife, their family member, whatever. And then oftentimes we uncover a lot of stuff about the other person. Okay. Now that is the big reveal. And once the person who is sitting in the CTT session, who's doing it for their husband, for their wife, because that's usually the scenario it is, now they feel empowered, right? You mean to tell me all these years it wasn't my fault that they were behaving like this and blah, blah, blah. So that leads to a fallout. And usually what happens is a couple days after the CTT session, somehow there's a massive, there can be a massive row or argument or, things that, but listen, you have to go through these things in order to make it better, right? You don't make things better by things being fantastic all the time. If everything is fantastic all the time, why change it? Where's the need for change? Oh, okay, you're going to be one of those people that says, "Oh, it's even though it's fantastic and it's the best it's ever been, and I still want to make it better than that." Yes, but that rarely happens. That rarely happens when people are in a place of goodness and peace and love and joy, and they're getting along, and it's non-confrontational. They don't tend to work on the relationship whatsoever, right? They're just coasting. It just runs. But when people come to the CTT and they're wanting to work on their husband or their wife, it's not because things are going well. It's because this person has these characteristics that are really negative towards me, and I need to try to fix them. Now, most of the time when the person's coming into the CTT session, they're trying to fix the problem because they think the problem is them. What did I do? I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm this, I'm that. He should have married better. She should have ended up with someone who was more successful. Whatever. And by the end of the CTT session, they realized that all of those negative self things that they thought about themselves, right? That was totally untrue. They had been lying to their own selves for all these years, and it had nothing to do with them. You didn't raise these people, right? So it's not your fault. And so that's where people become empowered through the CTT session. And it also promotes this understanding as well. You start to really understand the other person that you're in the relationship with. Nobody wants to sit there and say, you know what? I was really abused. I grew up in this terrible household. I was this, I was that. Or it could be the fact that those memories were so long ago and so insanely traumatic that they got locked away in the memory bank somewhere. And in order for that person to survive, they had to lock those memories away. They are not able to recall those memories because those memories are so horrific that they would be so traumatized by the constant recall, that they would not be able to live. Okay, so therefore memories get locked away. And it could be before we had all the necessary brain connections. But just because you can't remember it instantly in your conscious mind doesn't mean it's not locked in and around the body. Oh, it's there. Every single thing that's ever happened to you, whether it's good or bad, is locked away in the consciousness of the body somewhere. There's that intrinsic memory. So it could be that you're working on your spouse or your boyfriend, whatever, sister, you're working on these people and they don't even remember why they are the way they are. They just are that way. And in fact, I'll give you an example. There's a lady, oh, she is so, so nice. I mean, we are so blessed in our group. Can I just say that? We are all such incredibly nice, and wonderful people. Honestly, we are here to help ourselves and help each other. That's why we work in a group together. We're such a solid group. We're so helpful to one another. We answer each other's questions. We support each other. We say happy birthday. We do everything together. So there's a lady in our group who adopted 2 children. She adopted 2 children from China. Uh, 2 girls. One girl is absolutely wonderful. And she got these babies around 18 months, maybe 2 years of age. Okay. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure of the ages. So one daughter is absolutely wonderful. She is the ideal daughter you could ever possibly imagine. And this lady, she just pours so much love into her children. It's just unbelievable. The other daughter is hateful, spiteful, angry, throws temper tantrums, does drugs. Even though these two have had the exact same upbringing, it doesn't make sense, does it? So she was doing CTT for her daughters and her life. And where did she go wrong? Because again, she's going, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Well, it wasn't her fault. It turns out that we uncovered that the really, really sweet daughter, the perfect daughter, not that anybody's perfect, but you know what I mean. The orphanage that she was placed in China was small, it was clean, there were plenty of staff, the beds were clean, she was being well taken care of. She had somewhat of a bonding experience with the caregivers there, being held and being rocked and being fed on time. And then the other daughter came from the orphanage from hell. Okay. The kids were left there. They were dirty. They weren't being fed. The place was dirty. They were left to cry and cry and cry. Nobody was coming. They were not being attended to. And this one daughter who had all of these psychological issues, she has no memory of that. She has no memory of laying in that crib or wherever it was she was laying in a dirty crib with a dirty diaper, not being fed, screaming and crying, nobody paying attention to her, basically telling her, and through lack of action, that you are nothing, you are worthless, you are not loved, there nobody cares about you, your mere existence here on the earth plane is irrelevant, right? Which, by the way, for all of you parents out there that want to let your kids cry it out, just think about that. I would never let my kids cry it out. And I know that the parenting books tell you, there was some doctor somewhere that says, oh, just let them cry it out. You're a busy parent. You have to sleep. So you just need to let your kids cry it out, give them their last feed at midnight or whatever time it is. And then you don't go back into that room until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when you're ready. And that's when you come back, and they're just going to have to get with the program. Now this is a 6-week-old baby or a 3-month-old baby, however young they are. Now, what does that tell you right there, right? I am not worthy. I am not loved. I am not being taken care of. I am not important, right? Which are the exact messages that this other baby, this girl, the other daughter, received when she was in this orphanage in China. She didn't remember that. And what we had to do is we had to go in and we had to pull all of those negatives out. Now, it's a very complex issue. It's not going to be fixed in one session. It would probably take 5 or 10 sessions. But isn't it better to be able to at least knock a dent in it with one session as opposed to this girl running around? And by the way, her mother never told her what we uncovered, but this girl running around, and she's so angry at the world and she has no idea why, because she does not have that memory recall. Okay. And so even though these memories are locked away and you're doing surrogate tapping, surrogate CTT past life regression for someone, doesn't mean it's not going to make a difference. It definitely will. Okay, so moving on, and I do talk a lot, and I'm so sorry. Does CTT release blocks from one chakra or move up or down the chakras? Okay, now that's a good question. When we are in the group, we often find that the energy is moving. Most of the time, it's moving upward. So a lot of times the negatives are held in around the solar plexus area, oftentimes the root chakra as well. But you can actually feel the energy working its way up into the heart, into the chest, into the throat. And we usually feel a tightness in the throat area. And what that tightness symbolizes is the fact that the session is incomplete, right? There's some resistance there at that tightness in the throat. So we've got to keep going and working through until it's released. And we always all feel better when it is. So most of the time, the energy is moving in an upward direction, and it's released from the mouth area, the throat area, or it can go up to the crown chakra and it's released through the crown. Now, some people do have, in fact, one in particular, our senior manifestor, we love him so much. OR, yes, I know, but autocorrect, I don't know why it keeps putting ER on there, but whatever. Senior manifestor, he tends to release things from his feet. So it will shoot out at the bottom of his feet. And I think there's another person that happens to as well. They will feel the energy shoot out from their feet. So, it just depends on the person. But I would say a majority of us, we all feel the energy being released upward. I certainly do. I have had it leave from the palm of my hands, and I have had it leave from like the back of my neck and my back. So yeah, but I most of the time I feel it working its way up. Okay. Is CTT a modern version of drum circles? That is an excellent question. So let's ask, is CTT, I'm going to channel a source for this. Is CTT a modern version of drum circles? In a way, yes. I got a yes for that. Was that their way of processing? Not so much processing, but it was their way to lower their brain waves. So I was talking about this earlier to someone. If you think in terms of binaural beats can lower the brain waves. And what does that do? Is do, 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 right? So oftentimes these drum circles, they start out slow, do, 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 and they build up, don't they? They build up, do, 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 and then it ends up, and people end up in like these trance like states, right? Whether they're dancing or they're moving, or maybe they're just sitting still. That's what the drumming circles were to do. Was it specifically to lower the brain waves? Yes. And when they lowered the brain waves from the drum circles, they were looking to get communication in from the gods or spirit. Of course, back then in tribal times, it was usually like the spirit of the water and the spirit of the earth and the spirit of the animals, right? So they didn't realize at that time there was just really one God. Interestingly enough, we came across information on Friday. Somebody asked me yesterday, God, it feels like a million miles away. Friday was only yesterday, Liz. The Old Testament. This is going to ruffle a lot of you see, here's the problem. People are so fixated on their belief systems and have been, attached to what they have been told. But I think most of the people in the group are just, they can handle this information. So the Old Testament, right? It's just a combination of channeling. And Who are the people that they were channeling? Who were the entities? Were they channeling directly from God? No, not always. ETs were infiltrating those signal lines and giving information. Entities were giving information. Spirits were giving information. Sometimes they did channel source, sometimes they didn't. And specifically, it was about, sacrifice. The question that I got asked yesterday was about sacrifice. It was like, why would Source? And they wanted me to ask Source, did you actually tell? And I believe it was Abraham. Forgive me if I don't have my biblical, names correctly. But Abraham to sacrifice his son, right? Why would Source do that? Does that actually make any sense whatsoever? We're going to test you so much. We want you to kill your own child. Where's the sense in that? And so the question was put to Source. Did you actually tell someone to kill their own child? That was a no. Well, who were they channeling? Who did they get that information from? They got that information from the dark. But when they stepped in and said, don't kill your child, now that would have been from Source, right? But a lot of these biblical teachings, they don't have a clue who they were channeling. They don't have it. All they know is they were just getting information and they were writing it down because they had no idea who they were, like most of us. What am I doing here? Who am I? Where did I come from? What is my purpose? There has to be someone in control of this thing. And they ran with it, right? They ran with it. So just think about that when somebody's quoting chapter and verse to you about, you're going to go burn in hell because you're doing the CTT, right? No, no. Actually today, God, we asked Source or God, whatever you want to call him, her, whatever. Do you want us to trust in the universe and rely on the universe? Trust and reliance are two totally different things. You can trust the universe all day long. You can trust that the universe is going to take care of you. You trust the system. You trust, that you deserve to be treated in a positive way and that the universe is going to treat you in that way. Or you can sit here and you can rely upon the universe. Now, what does that mean? Oh, universe, please send me a Lambo. I need a Lambo and I need a this and I need it to have glitter on the sides. And I need it to have a trunk of money in the back, right? A big suitcase full of money. And I need to show off. In fact, I want to have so much money. I'm going to open my window and I'm just going to throw money out the window. In fact, I'm going to be in the Christmas parade and I'm going to throw money to all the needy people out the window. Okay, universe, 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 God, 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 please, please, please give me this, right? No, 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 no. What we got from Source was you need to be self-reliant. I know that some people are completely trapped in a lot of circumstances that are beyond their control. CTT can help offer a way out, but you need to be realistic. I mean, you can try to do the CTT and get yourself a Lambo and win the lottery. Certainly, hey, it's worth trying, right? But it can help you manifest, yes, but it needs to be realistic manifestation, not I want to throw cash out the Lambo. We'd all like to do that. Actually, I was saying today, I don't think I should be in a Lambo. I don't want a Lambo. Where are my kids gonna sit? If I have a Lambo, where am I gonna sit? Those things look so uncomfortable. Please. Okay, so yes, you can use CTT for manifesting as well. And again, all of this is on that YouTube channel and it's free. It's free energy healing. So, to answer the question, it looks like CTT is a bit of a modern version of drum circles, in a way, but it's not so much processing at that point. Certainly, the motion of tapping is to create energy. So, when you're actually tapping, you're releasing your own energy. You are using your energy to facilitate processing either within you or within someone else. Okay. Now, what are some of the physical side effects, good and bad, when we experience the CTT? And how do we mitigate them? This is an excellent question. During the group sessions, you can feel a little uncomfortable. I would say just during the group sessions, just stick with it, finish it to the end, and you'll feel better at the end. Now, you may get to the end and you close properly, and you now, for whatever reasons, there's a layer of anxiety there that wasn't there before, or there's a layer of sadness that wasn't there before. Now I've had some tragic memories come forward, locked away memories, and they weren't there before, and I don't know what to do. Okay, what you can actually do is you can go back into a CTT session. You need to make a note of whatever it is you're feeling. Oh, I feel sad. Okay. How sad do you feel on a scale of 0 to 10? Well, a 10 plus plus sadness, like it's off the charts. Okay. Now you'll go back into the CTT, you'll follow another video, and instead of whatever it is that we're working on, you can just say sadness. There's a part of me that knows how to let go and heal this 10 level plus plus sadness that I feel. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel it. That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. You finish out the round, and then you go back in and you'll say, okay, what is the level now? Oh, now it's a 7. Okay, what are the feelings behind that 7? This is beyond my control. I can't help the way I feel. I feel uncomfortable. I feel unsettled. I don't understand this. Like all those negatives, you write them all down, and then you'll say, there's a part of me that knows how to let go and heal these 7 level feelings of blah, 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 right? That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. You'll finish out the round. Now, just remember, if you're doing the letting go and healing, you must open responsibly, which is on that channel, and you must close responsibly, also on the channel. If you have to leave before the end of the video or before the end of the group, I urge you to find a way to close as soon as you can. Very, very important. Okay. So that is how you combat the negative side effects. Now, the fallout, if you're doing CTT and you're having a fallout with someone because you did a session on them or with them, you're just going to have to run with it. You need to try to emotionally diffuse yourself if you can. Remove your emotions from that situation. But again, the big reveal, the fallouts are necessary for the processing. It's better to know than to not know, even though some people would argue that it's better to not know. But the not knowing, all that does is you take it into the next lifetime with you. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm done, right? I'm so done with some of these lessons, right? I never, ever want to do some of these ever again. Okay. The next question, can we do more than one CTT a day? You can do as many as you want. Somebody in our group, she's wonderful. She's our hairdresser. We love her. She writes down, actually, she doesn't even write them down. The second she comes across a negative thought or a negative self-talk that we all have, most of us have each day. Oh God, look at myself. I look old. I look this. I look that. My hair and my nails, my whatever. I'm not living up to so and so's expectations. They have a better handbag than me. Their hair's nicer than. Okay, stop. That is all extremely negative. Extremely. And that has to stop. Okay. You need to stop that immediately. Now, if you're not in the position to take care of that immediately, you need to start a routine of typing down or writing down all of those negatives that you're coming across each and every time you catch yourself making a negative statement about yourself, which is negative self-talk, right? And you need to do a CTT session at the end of the day, and you need to let go and heal all of those negatives. Now, our hairdresser, who we love so much, she catches them immediately and she will immediately tap them away. Now, if you don't have time to do an entire session of let go and heal, then you just want to go to the opposite of that negative emotion, and all roads lead to self-love. How many times have I said that? So I don't look good. Self-love. I don't feel good. Self-love. I don't, I don't like what I see. Self-love. And thank you. Somebody's just reminded me. And she also, the hairdresser, found that if you do CTT in front of a mirror or several mirrors, if you're in a salon or a dressing room, right? It makes it all the more powerful. It makes it so powerful. Mirrors are very powerful. You're doing CTT in front of the mirror, extremely powerful. You can do CTT as much as you want or as little as you want, but I would, say try to stick with it. People do get burned out. I don't, but people do. I mean, sometimes they need to take a break from CTT, a week or two, and that's fine too. But you don't want to fall off the wagon, right? Because you've got one life. And I say this to our group all the time. You've got this life that you have a tool that will help you process negatives into positives. It will help you expand your consciousness. It will help you become empowered. And whatever else you want to achieve, as long as it's within reason, whatever else you want to achieve, you have this fantastic tool here. You may not have that tool ever again in your next lifetime. You may not know what the CTT is. You may not have any tools. You may be, oh, I know, let's create a contract or a lifetime where ignorance is bliss. And wow, this is working out so great. Let's do this for the next 10 lifetimes, right? You may not have this opportunity again. So I would say make the most of this opportunity and use it. Okay, if you're sitting at home watching the Kardashians and watching all this mindless drivel on the TV, you're wasting your time. I'm serious. I watch very little TV. It's very rare that I watch it. If I do, maybe 10 minutes a day, maybe 20 at the most, and that's only in passing. I don't really watch TV. I don't have time, and it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time unless you're learning something, which Kim Kardashian waxing her legs, that we listen, we don't need to watch the Kardashians for that, right? We know how to do that. It's not hard to figure out. You don't need to watch Kim wax her legs. You really don't. Question that's coming in. Is TV bad for our soul? Yes, it can be. It can be. It's it can be a tool of the dark. A tool of the dark where you become so obsessed with it and so, just addicted to it. Now it's a tool of the dark because what are you doing? You're wasting time. What does the dark not want you to do? The dark does not want you to process. It doesn't want you to go from dark to light, right? It needs that dark energy to reside in and around your energy field so that it can do its job, which is the light and the dark are in a war. Okay. The dark wants more dark energy, the light wants more light energy. If you're just sitting around and you're watching mindless TV continuously all the time, right? You're not processing from dark to light. Well, what does that say? That says, well, you're giving into the dark. Okay. Very serious, very serious. The CTT will also make you face reality, and it will come out with a lot of truth bombs, and you have to be prepared to deal with that, right? The CTT is not for wimps. It is an extremely powerful tool, and sometimes the truth bombs are hard to take, but you have to run with it, and you have to know that by facing those truths and turning that dark energy into white light self-love, you are expanding your consciousness. That is a life lesson that you should no longer have to face, or you're certainly working towards not facing it ever again in any of your lifetimes. And it's so worth it. To me, it's worth it. It helps you to ascend. It helps you to grow. And, again, there's people that use it for manifesting, and they have been manifesting. They combine it with the 369 method. What's the 369 method? Well, you pick a manifestation, you do 3 rounds in the morning, 6 rounds in the afternoon, 9 rounds in the evening. Okay. People that are doing that, they're finding significant traction in their manifesting. One girl, she manifested a $30,000 check out of nowhere. Okay, just about a $30,000 check. Okay, amazing. How many of us could use an extra 30 grand? And now, because she does it so diligently, she's manifesting all over the place, all the time. And she deserves to. She puts in a lot of hard work into her healing and growing her soul and expanding her consciousness. She absolutely deserves it. In fact, one of the questions that came in today was, I don't feel safe. And we uncovered that in the CTT session last weekend about safety. And the reason she started using drugs was because she'd never felt safe in her life. And by being in the druggy crowd and using drugs, she actually, for a brief moment, felt safe. Safe enough just to get hooked on drugs, and then she realized how unsafe it was, but then it was too late. This person today, she's not on drugs, but she was like, how do I feel safe in an unsafe world? And what we got was, you have to believe. And what this was stemming from was, things are kind of good in my life. Things are going well. I'm worried. They're going so well. I'm actually worried. What is the next thing that's coming my way that is going to drop a bomb on me? Okay. What is it? Because being in a good place, I don't feel safe. I'm waiting. And that's what happens as we go through all of these lifetimes. We have learned that don't get comfortable, because something else is usually on the way. Okay. But it's been a while since something has happened for this person to feel uncomfortable or to feel, traumatized, but they still don't feel safe. Well, if life is going good for you, it's going well, but you still have this feeling of lack of safety, you have to believe that you deserve to be safe and to feel safe, and that you deserve a period in your life where things are going well. We're allowed to have a break from the struggle. It's okay. but you still are on edge and you're waiting. So you can use CTT for that, right? You would say there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to know, feel, and believe that I deserve to be and feel safe at all times. That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now, and then you finish out the round. Okay? You do that enough, you will believe that you deserve something. A lot of times we don't manifest because we actually don't believe that we deserve these things. So that's usually the first blockage right there. I don't deserve it. Why do I deserve it? How come how come I will be looked down upon? There are other people that need things more than me. I don't deserve this, right? You need to fix that. And you can use the CTT to fix that. There's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to know, feel, and believe that I deserve, again, whatever it is. And you finish out the round. You can do that 369. You will transform your brain wiring. You will eventually reprogram yourself that, yes, actually, I do deserve to manifest that job. I do deserve to have that good relationship. Okay? It's all about brain wiring. The CTT, when you're doing it with the group, you can, or you're listening to the recording, you can feel the buzzing in the crown of your head, your third eye, in and around your body. That's the brain rewiring, because it doesn't have that energy, that negative energy to dip down into and pull these negative feelings up into your consciousness. So if that energy is no longer there, it has to rewire. Okay, next question. Is CTT stronger when I do it in a salt bath? I'm getting a no. Okay. Actually, that's counterintuitive. Wow, that was a good question. Why is that counterintuitive? Well, salt is for cleansing. Salt is for grounding and protecting. As you're doing this, you don't want to undo the work you're doing, right? So, say for instance, this is a very good point. Say for instance, you're doing a CTT session and you do the grounding, you do the protection afterwards, but then somewhere along the line, you think you need to cleanse. Okay? Do not cleanse yourself after you're doing CTT. Why? How do we cleanse ourselves? A lot of times, well, certainly what I use is the method of flashing the white God light over me, over my being, like a paparazzi, taking like 1,000 pictures, like a strobe light, right? That just basically it messes up everything that you've done. Okay. It's just undone all the work that you have completed, because now you're cleansing the energy field. Well, the energy field needs time to readjust to whatever it is you've just done. So don't do the cleansing immediately after the CTT. Ground and protect, yes, we do the filling in the space. Yes, we do that. You're going to be fine. Okay. Don't do the cleanse. I would leave it, a little while after, maybe a few hours after is what I'm getting from spirit. Don't immediately cleanse once you do the CTT. Now you can cleanse before you do the CTT if you want, but don't cleanse after, because now, you're messing up all the work you've done. Okay. Next question. I want to know why, when I ask for no negative consequences, I have to say, please, thank you, I love you to the universe. This is the only way this works for me. Why is that? That's a good question. So let's ask, I'm going to pull in this person, father, their father or grandfather is here. Why is it that they have to say that? It's almost ritualistic, he says. This is the ritual that they got themselves into, but it feels like a layer of protection. They feel more protected within themselves, and it gives them more reassurance, and it also allows their energy field to relax and readjust to the CTT that they've just done. Okay, George used to say, the phrase that I love to use the most, which is CTT rearranges the internal furniture. So by adding this please, thank you, and I love you to the universe, which we all should do anyway, okay? Does that mean we're relying upon the universe? No. It just means that we trust the universe. We're not waiting for the universe to hand us the winning lottery ticket, but we do trust the universe, okay? It just makes you feel a bit more safe and relaxed, and for the CTT and the brain rewiring to do its job. That was a good question. This is the only way it works for me. Why is that? So there you go. And when I do CTT, I do it in the shower. After my shower, I leave the water running as well. Why do you leave the water running? Again, that is very instinctive to do that. And what it's saying is that I've left the shower, but water is very cleansing. So she's not leaving the water on to cleanse and undo what she has done within herself, but it seems like it's instinctive for her to cleanse the space. Okay. So let's ask her loved one in spirit. Yes, that's exactly what she's doing. Okay, I knew that. Brilliant. Okay. And I asked for permission and blessing for Source to have a good and safe day at work. Can you please tell me about that? Well, we know what she does, and we've talked about it in the CTT group, and she where her location is, she's very prone to getting in car crashes. She's always getting in car crashes because they drive like mad in the country she lives, and I don't blame you. And it just gives you that extra layer of security when you're asking those questions, and you're asking, for them to please keep me safe. Please keep me free from harm. Please don't let anybody crash into me today. That sort of dampens down, is what I'm getting, dampens down your anxiety levels. And you can use CTT to keep you safe. There's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to keep a ring of white light safety around me at all times, to protect me, to make sure that I get through this day unscathed. That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. Okay, so that's another way you can use CTT. Okay, next question. I noticed recently that I'm not tapping when you say, now let's take a deep breath. Should I be tapping it's up to you. I mean, I still tap, but if you don't take a deep breath, that's fine. Why do we take the deep breath? Well, the reason we do that is because it helps to push the energy out of our body. We're trying to let go of any negative energy. By taking a deep breath, we let that go, and we're pushing it out. When you feel that resistance in your throat, that take a deep breath is more important than ever when that resistance is there. Okay, so that's why you take a deep breath, and as you'll feel it leave. Like you feel the energy moving in and around your body. You'll feel it leave. And it's quite amazing to feel it, actually. That's how you know it's working. It's confirmation. I mean, you can't deny it. It's amazing stuff. Um, Okay, so it's up to you if you want to tap during take a deep breath, but I mean, yes, no, it's whatever's most comfortable for you. As long as you resume the tapping at information transfer is now complete, so be it, it is done. Okay? Next question. How many CTTs does it take to get rid of all the blocks? Now, if you think about the millions and millions and millions of years you've probably been here on the earth plane, walking around here as a dinosaur, pterodactyl, bird, fish, many insects, trees, leaves, grass, flowers, seeds, butterflies, caterpillars, worms, whatever it is you were. We've had thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lifetimes. And what we do is we carry all of those blockages with us into each and every subsequent lifetime until we are able to release them. And this is your chance. See what I mean? Don't waste your time. You've been carrying this around for so long. So it depends on the issue. If you wanted to target a particular issue, it depends how big or small the issue is. Sometimes it can be 2 or 3 sessions. Sometimes it's very intense. Sometimes you're tapping to manifest. It's not working. There's lots of blockages there. You've got to figure out the reason for the lack. Again, we did a live show about the reason for the lack. Why am I poor? There's a reason behind it. Why can't I have a good relationship? There's a reason behind it. Why am I having all of these health problems? There's a reason behind it. Okay. You have got to dive in deep and do your self work, and you've got to try to find the reasons behind it. If you don't know, tap for insights and guidance. Okay, there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum insights and guidance I need to find the reason behind the lack of whatever it is. The part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now, and then you'll finish out the round. Okay, do that 369. Something is going to show you why you have that lack there. I can guarantee it. May have to do it a few times, but it'll turn up. Okay. Next question. Can I use CTT to get CTT in the next life? Absolutely. You can send information to your soul. I love that we can do that. We are still working on a checklist. I've got to go through and do that video. We're working on a checklist. What do we want in our next lifetime? A lot of times souls know, hey, I'm not so worried about money. You'll figure it out on the earth plane. You don't need to keep a roof up. What do you mean a roof over your head? We were nomadic tribesmen for like maybe 100 lifetimes. I don't need what do you mean? We just build one with sticks and leaves and mud, right? Well, hello, it's 2025. We don't live like that anymore. So a lot of times we need to send information to our souls, and you can do that with the CTT. There's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to send this information to my soul. You know, money is important. Health is important. Relationships are important. Not being stuck in survival mode all the time, 24/7, that's important. Living in particular areas, that's important, right? Being with the soul family, or maybe you want to leave the soul family. That's important. Why do you want to leave that soul family? Well, because they're going nowhere and I'm doing all this work and I'm the black sheep of the family and I'm the outcast and they hate me and this is something we do in every single lifetime. Well, okay, it's probably time to leave that soul family, right? Leaving a soul family is a very big deal, by the way. But whatever information you want to put into your soul, you can do that with the CTT. Very good thing to do. And in fact, knowing that, um, you got a lot of work because there's a lot of wants in this world, right? In my next lifetime, I need to be wealthy. I don't want to work too hard. I just want to concentrate on my spiritual journey. I want to be a stay-at-home mom or dad, and I want to have kids, or maybe I don't want to have kids. Maybe I just want to travel. Maybe I want to be a particular thing when I want to be an innovator. I want to be up there in the top tier, 1%. I want to be like them. I want to have my show. Whatever it is, okay? I want to do peace, love, joy, light, white light, goodness. I mean, you're not going to get out of here without any struggle, okay? Because those lifetimes, when you design the lifetimes with no struggle in them, guess what happens? Well, you get to the other side, you're like, man, I did not do a thing down there. I've wasted time and energy. What was I thinking? I got to have some struggle, but wouldn't it be nice with our conscious mind who actually knows what it's like to live in the 3D, right? Because the soul forgets that information. Oh, yeah, whatever. That was just the role I was playing that time. Who cares, right? The conscious mind, which does not go into spirit with you, the conscious mind dies here on the earth plane. Wouldn't you like for your conscious mind to be able to send that information, exactly what you need? I need clean running water. I need, a roof over my head. I want to be with this person again. I don't want to be with that person again. I love my kids. I want them to be my kids in every lifetime. I want to take the CTT with me. Okay. Now, because I haven't left this lifetime and come back and experience whether or not we can take it with us, Spirit says we can. So you can send that information into your soul. The CTT, I need to take it with me. I need to not only take it with me, but I need to make sure I come across it at an earlier age. A lot of us come across the CTT in our 40s. Okay. I was just saying to somebody today, hey, I wish I would have had this when I was a teenager or when I was in my 20s. This would have been incredibly helpful. And I would be that much further along in my spiritual journey because I had this tool. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the CTT. Maybe you like hypnotherapy. Maybe you like muscle testing. Maybe you like tarot cards, pendulums, whatever it is you like. Maybe you want to take that with you. Okay. And bring it forward in the next lifetime. Well, you've got to send that information to your soul so that your soul knows when it's up there in the spirit world and it's reprogramming and getting ready for the next lifetime, that this was something that was very important to you and it's a must have on the checklist. Okay. I can't guarantee it. You'll have to hunt me down in the next lifetime if this is wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's right. So yeah, that's a good question. Somebody says, I would love to know how different my energy is now that I've been doing CTT almost each week since May of 2024. So I'm going to tap into their energy field. They've definitely increased their positive energy in their energy field. They have a lot more self-love. They are more relaxed about their situation. They used to be very uptight and frustrated and feeling trapped. Now they've released a lot of that energy and they're going with the flow and they're moving in a very positive direction. So yes, it has definitely changed you in a lot of ways. Okay. Next question. When doing CTT for a loved one, for example, the optimum ability to break free from addictive behaviors, is it necessary to include protection from our spirit guides, take away any and all negative energy, transmute into white light, blah, blah, blah? It depends. It depends. And the reason it depends is it depends what kind of session you're doing. So if you're just easily and joyfully manifesting the optimum ability of whoever they are in your life to you, to break free from any and all addictive behaviors, to transmute any and all negative energy that are fueling the addictive behaviors into white light self-love, because you're using like the quick fire manifesting technique, then I would say no, you don't really need to open and close. You're just sending that energetic information over to them and you're hoping to facilitate a change. Okay. Now you would have to do that a lot of times every day for a long time period of time. If they're in close proximity to you, then obviously you can monitor their behavior and you can see the changes that are happening within. Now, but if you're going in and you're looking for the reasons as to why they are an addict, perhaps they're depressed, perhaps they feel like a failure, whatever it is, if you know them quite well, then you can go in, you have to open responsibly, then you have to go in, set your manifestation, then you let go and heal your negatives. And once you feel the job is complete, now you're going to close responsibly. Okay. So you're going to fill in the space with white light, self-love, and all the other things that we say, which are optimum guidance, positive emotional fulfillment, gratitude, self-love, self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others. And then you would add in again what you were trying to manifest in the beginning, which is the optimum ability to heal any and all addictive behaviors, transmuting any negatives that are fueling these addictive behaviors into white light, positive karma, and self-love. Okay. How do you use CTT to manifest? So you set your manifestation. Okay. So say you want to manifest, I don't know. You want to manifest a trip. Okay. You want to say, I've always wanted to go to this place and I want to manifest this. Okay. So let's just say, I don't know, let's pick a spot on the map, Japan. I want to go to Japan. So there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to enjoy a white light positive trip to Japan, a place that I've always wanted to go, and to have a wonderful time and plenty of money while I'm there. That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. Okay. And you'd finish out the round. Now, George was a firm believer that you have to do this several times a day for a minimum of 3 weeks. There's something about the 3-week period. I don't know what it is, but he would say, do this for a minimum of 3 weeks and you'll start to see results. In most cases, people start to see results. Okay. So that's just a quick way to manifest. Now, some manifestations are obviously a lot more complex. If you have more time, you can do the affirmation tail ender process. Now that requires a lot of time because you want to try and hit this manifestation several times a day. But what you would do is you would open responsibly, say your manifestation in the next round. Now you're going to, if you get any negatives coming through, if you're one of those people that gets those negatives cropping up as you're doing the tapping rounds, now you're going to let go and heal all of those negatives. And you keep letting go and healing until you've cleared out all the negatives. Now you're going to close responsibly. Okay. Now, if you're going to do the long-winded approach, I would say do that at least 2 times a day. George was a firm believer that you do a minimum of 3 times a day. But if you're just doing the quick fire manifesting round, okay, then just I would do 3, 6, 9 if you can. Three rounds in the morning, 6 rounds in the afternoon, 9 rounds in the evening. Okay. Right. Okay. I knew this was going to come up. I'm just going to take a quick drink here because my mouth feels like I've been sucking on Gandhi's bloody flip-flop. Honestly. And we all know how dry that was. Okay. So, can you use CTT to change your soul plan or your contract in this lifetime? That is a big no. Okay. I don't find, and I don't know how. I think that there is a medium that does know how, and I believe from what I've heard, Courtney Dillon, who appears on Channeling Eric, she does know how to break soul contracts, or certainly people have believed that they had evidence of that. I can't see how to do it. I Soul contracts are one of those laws of the universe. Once the soul contract is made, it has to be adhered to. Okay? Now, what we can say about the soul contract is, why is it there? What is it that I need to know and learn from this soul contract in order to break free of it? That is the best way that I find to rise above and overcome the soul contract. So you could say there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to overcome, understand, and heal this particular soul contract with, whatever it is, XYZ, with this person, with this job, with this lack in my life, whatever it is, that part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. You have to understand and process and grow and overcome and heal. You have to know all of those things, why you entered into that soul contract with that person in the first place. Very, very important. That cord cutting, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't need to know what the reason was behind me being in that horrible contract with that horrible, boyfriend or whatever. I don't need to know about that. I'm just going to cut this right now. That's just conscious mind healing. That is not actually what's going on there. You have got to go deep into these soul contracts and understand why they're there. Why does the soul keep making these contracts with these same individuals? And everybody's just going round and round and round, same scenarios over and over. Why? Why? What is it that you need to know about that soul contract to heal it? I mean, very, very important. And if you cannot find the answer as to what it is you need to know, then you need to tap for insights and guidance. Okay? Very, very important. Okay, so that is, believe it or not, I actually managed to finish all the questions on the Patreon. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers, and thank you to everybody in our group. I will take questions. I don't know for how long because I'm getting pretty tired, but hey, let's rock and roll. All right, so Anne, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi Liz. On Monday I talked about my aunt, and she did pass away a couple of nights ago. And I was just wondering if her transition went well for her and how she's doing.
Oh, your aunt, I felt,
And Aunt Julie,
I
yes,
felt it.
in
Yeah, I knew
California.
she wasn't going to be here for that long. And I know you were feeling guilty, and your mom was upset about her passing and her transitioning, like how it was going to be.
Yes,
So, Aunt Julie is here. And she says she wants to thank you for all of the prayers. I feel at one point you and your mother just nonstop prayed for her and her
yes,
transition. Okay, she's aware of that. And she wants you to know how grateful she is to have known you, to have loved you both in this lifetime. She says, I am fine where I am, and she's enjoying watching you both. And she wants to send her love and gratitude. It was because of your prayers. Her transition was smooth, and she loves you both very much.
that's great to hear. Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. Thank you. All right, who's my next victim? Anybody else? Oh, Nancy. All right. Hey, Nancy. You should be able to unmute. Hey,
Hi.
how can I help you? Hi. Hi,
Okay.
Nancy.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I have a question I was going to ask on Monday um, about my karmic path right now, being in chronic pain, can't find my usual medications, having to go through this change and going through all that BS all over again. Because
Mm,
I was stable for about 17 years.
Oh,
So, where is this taking me?
yeah.
So
Okay.
tired.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And can you describe the pain for me? Because I feel it's kind of all over.
It's I have chronic pancreatitis, so it's mostly
Okay.
abdominal, dull, achy, sharp shooting,
Mm-hmm.
front and back.
It radiates that, maybe it radiates because that's why I see it like kind of all over. Is it radiating?
Yep, yep.
Okay. All
Front to
right.
back, back to front. Kind of like being stabbed both ways.
Oh God. As if we all need that. Your pancreas is unhappy. Okay. Why? Do you have like, you know how we have diverticulitis in the abdomen, in the stomach? I'm getting like there's little pockets in and around the pancreas that are inflamed and aggravated. And I don't feel that they can really do, like diverticulitis. I don't feel that this is repairable. Certainly not through surgery, because this is to do with the lining of your pancreas. I can actually talk to your pancreas, by the way. So
Oh,
your pancreas is saying, "Help me, save me," and I'm saying, "Why are you saying this? Like, what is going on?" And it just is struggling to cope. And you're right, they haven't found the medications yet. And you don't want to get on the medications that kind of numb you out and you end up being addicted to them. Although I know that feels very appealing right now because you are in so much pain. I can feel it. It's radiating into your kidneys, everywhere.
yeah,
Um,
I've been on opiates for 17 years. I just uh because of what's going on in the
mm,
country, they're cutting back, so no pharmacy has the particular medications I was on
mhm,
that enabled me to function a little bit. I can't
yeah.
work, but I can function. So now I'm going through this change now, which is why it's probably, I definitely have a physical tolerance. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody would, but yeah, diverticulitis is more in the colon.
It
Um,
is. I
but
don't think that they realize that this, and that's the best way for me to describe it, are like these little pockets, right? In and around the lining of the pancreas. And that's what I'm getting, where it keeps becoming inflamed and angry. It looks like little, like, cuts or little pockets in the lining is what I'm getting. And they could be very microscopic. In fact, I'm being told that they are, but that's
yeah,
what's causing the aggravation there. So what is the solution? Would fasting resolve this issue? No, no, fasting will not resolve this issue.
no,
And are they going to go back to the pain meds? No. Will there be any new medication coming out that will target this pancreatic pain? And I do feel that there is some research out there at this very moment that can stop this pain. Um, and it's not too far from where you are. It's not too far from where you are. So, what should we do in this case? Should we reach out to these studies? I feel that you should reach out to these studies. This will be managed within the next year or two. I know that's a long time when you're in pain. Like, I know that. But I do feel that this will be under control. And why is this flaring up again? Again, it's body changes, but also I feel that these little micro tears or these pockets that's going on in the lining, um, I feel that there's a few more of them now. Now, don't get me wrong, your pancreas is not going to stop working, okay? I
right.
don't see that. But I do see that these little tears, every time the body's growing or shifting or aging or going through a transitionary period, that's what we do, right? Naturally, we're
Mm-hmm.
humans, we're living in an organic body. That's what happens. and I do feel that help is on the way. So I hope that that brings you some sort of peace and comfort. I know it's not really going to help you until you find it, but again, if you want to use the CTT, and I know you're a big CTT person. In fact, I appreciate seeing your name down there every Monday because you always are very valuable and you do a lot of input into the group and you help a lot of people. So we really
Thank you.
appreciate everything that you do for us. And but easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to find, a solution to minimize or cancel this pain completely. Now, when you're talking in those terms, Nancy,
Uh-huh.
you have got to make sure that you put on the phrase with no negative consequences, because I don't want you to get like your pancreas removed. You know what I mean? I don't want you to exit off the earth plane. I don't want you to have anything negative happen that in the long run, yes, it makes sure the pain goes away, but it may leave you in a worse position than you were before. So another line in the CTT, just to add in those extra protection, is that, easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to cancel out, heal, overcome, whatever it is you need for this pain so that you can live a pain-free life with no negative consequences. Now, even as we're talking, a lady in our group who's very knowledgeable, she says she thinks that there are peptides for this. I do too. In fact, as she says that, I'm getting a yes. So there is a solution out there. I feel it's very new. I feel it's still in research stages or it's just come onto the market, but there is something out there. The problem is you got to find a doctor who believes in new stuff and they're not so stuck in their ways, right? And oftentimes
Yeah.
you have to find that research yourself and you have to take it to the doctor. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
thank you, Nancy. Anything else?
Um, it, the cause of this, is this like a past life thing lingering around? Can that
Mhm.
help too? Oh, and the pancreas is probably aggravated because my pain medication had to change. So that's
Mm.
creating more pain and havoc. But I'll definitely do that. But I was just curious if a past life thing had anything to do with that.
I don't feel, is it a past life thing? No. I feel in this current lifetime though, Nancy, I don't know where this is coming from, but I have to give this to you, my love. And I do.
I know.
I just give you what I get.
Yep.
I feel that there was a lot of humiliation in the younger years. You were humiliated a lot of times. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You're storing that energy of humiliation. That's why it's so aggravated in that area, because you have stored a lot of humiliation in that area and you didn't speak up at the time because it made it worse. It made it worse. You were in this impossible position that if you spoke out or spoke up or defended yourself
Hmm.
against this humiliation, that the humiliation and the bullying got worse. Do you understand that?
Yep. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I took judo. Yeah. Yep.
That that's what's being stored there. So, from a CTT perspective, you can work on those emotions. And we know that humiliation, sadness, regret, despair. Regret is there because you weren't able to speak up for yourself and stop it then, because I feel like this was just an onslaught of humiliation. But even if you just use the generic phrase of targeting those negative emotions in and around my pancreas area that are causing, excuse me, my pancreas to flare up, causing the pain. So again, you would do the opening, you would do what you want to manifest, which is to live a life without these problems, of the pancreas causing you these painful issues with no negative consequences. Then you're going to let go and heal. You're going to scale that. On a scale of 0 to 10, how bad is the pain? Well, it's a 10, and the emotions behind the pain are a 10 plus plus plus. Now you're going to let those go and heal. You're going to scale it down to a 0. Now you're going to close, but just because you do one round where you scale it down to a 0 does not mean all is good in the world. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It
I
means that
remember.
you remember, right? It means
Yeah.
you've peeled off some layers and more layers are coming through. You will be able to know when you are successful at getting rid of all of the negative, the layers upon layers, all the way down to the strands in the DNA, the layers of negative emotions, because then the pain will stop, right? So then that's something that you can work on, and you're like a CTT warrior. You're one of them. So definitely I would be interested in how this turns out for you.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Oh, you're welcome, my love, of course.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Oh, you're welcome. You too. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. All right. I'm getting pretty tired, but let's rock and roll. Renee.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you, I've been trying to lose weight for like my whole life. But for the last 3 months, I've been on Wegovy, a weight loss injection, and I've only lost 2 kilos. And I was just wondering, is there anything blocking me from losing weight, or is there anything else that I can do to help myself?
Welcome to the club, girlfriend. Welcome to
Yeah.
the club. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. What's your dosage of Wegovy, first of all?
At at the moment, it's 1 milligram. So I'm 3 months in.
There you go. That's your first problem. So, most people start out at 2.5 and then they go 5 and then they go 7.5 and then they go 10 and then they
Mm-hmm.
go 12.5 and then they go 15. And you're saying that, so it did work at the very beginning. I feel like it worked for the first week or two.
Yes.
Okay. And then it faded out. You need to up your dose. So 1 milligram, would that be, and I'm sure somebody in the group knows, what is the 1 milligram equivalent to, please? Does anybody know? Is that going to be equivalent to the 10 here? No, I'm getting that it's much lower than that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the third or fourth. I don't know if it's the complete highest dose yet, but my doctor is thinking of maybe moving me onto Mounjaro. I have a script for that, but then I'm going to start at the lowest dose for that for a month and then go up from there. So I'm not sure what to do.
Okay. I'm asking somebody who knows a lot about this stuff. Okay. So let's find out what we should do. Now I have a female standing here for you. I feel that this is mom or grandma. Is this grandma in spirit that I have here on your dad's side?
Oh, that would be a yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's her
Grandma.
name?
Irene.
Irene, come on, Irene. Da, da. Okay. That's her. She's dancing with me. She knows the song.
Oh my God.
Let's ask Irene. Okay, Irene, what's going on? You need to change. Okay, what does she need to change? The dosage? No, the complete medication. That version is not working for you. Would the Mounjaro help better? Yes. The Mounjaro would help. What about Ozempic? No. No, not Ozempic, but the Mounjaro. And what was the other choice there, Renee?
I'm already on Wegovy, so it's just Wegovy or switch to Mounjaro or do nothing at all. None of them. I don't know.
No, you can't do nothing. Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't work for you. You're too busy. You're too busy because losing weight is 24/7, right? Losing
Yeah.
weight is your whole life has to be completely geared towards and revolve around losing weight. It's the prep, it's the mental fight, the food cravings, the food noise, blocking it out, not giving in to temptation, extra. No, that's not you. You can't do that. You're far too busy. So, what I'm getting from your grandmother is you're going to have to change the brand. That is what the issue is. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, it's very
Really?
expensive, but I will try to
I
find a way to
know.
make it work.
Pay now or pay later, right? Don't worry, there's a lot of us that are on that stuff in the group. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's also, you can use compound pharmacies as well. I don't know if you have those out there. We have the compound pharmacies, which are much cheaper here. And there's
Okay.
coupons. There's coupons. I'm sure you may be able to get a coupon out there. We have coupons here. And
Yeah.
then the
Well,
other
what about
thing,
exercise?
exercise, yes, will help promote it. Now, I will go ahead and let you on a little secret. You know, they worry about the slow digestion, and that can cause problems. That, what is it, the gastroparesis or something? I don't know. But anyway, whatever
Mm.
the technical term is, and I'm sure somebody in the YouTube comments will correct me. Sorry, I'm not perfect. I'm not God. I'm still human. Um, I drink kombucha, 3 bottles of kombucha a day that keeps everything moving, and it doesn't make me hungry. But you know, that's what I love about the kombucha. It just keeps everything going so nicely. And yeah, so it doesn't cause that, you know, gut rot that can happen with these medications. Exercise, yes, is important, but I don't feel like you're that dedicated to exercise. You don't like it. It's boring. You can think of a million other things that you'd rather do than exercise, and you live a very busy lifestyle. I'm just getting that. It's like when I tap into you, you're very almost like neurotic. You're all over the place. Do you understand that? I
Well,
feel like
not
you're
really.
neurotic.
I only work like 2 days a week, and then I'm trying to build a YouTube channel on the side. But I'm pretty relaxed and chilled out.
But when I tap into your brain, it's like all over the place, right? It's like when I'm going into the brain, it's like I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. Are you one of those people where your brain's moving a mile a minute, but it kind of forces you into inactivity because your brain is moving so fast? That's what I get when I tap into your brain. It's like it's not nothing bad with your brain, but it doesn't feel like it can organize, or like it doesn't feel as if it's on a particular schedule. It's weird.
Oh, yes, yes, then I can
Okay.
relate. I don't have a proper schedule. I try not to think too much into the future because I don't really have things sorted out in my life right now. So I just try to live day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah. And the group we're saying is, well, changing your emotions around food. Now, if you wanted to use the CTT, um to help you get motivated, there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to be and feel motivated to exercise, right? That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me and my legs and arms now.
yeah, I would love to do CTT for that. I want to be able to walk around the block again, but I have like this neuralgia paresthetica at the moment, which is a tingling down the left side of my thigh when I stand up for like more than 5 minutes or walk for more than 5 minutes, which I'm getting treated for at the moment. But I was just wondering, would that like go away, or do you see me like just debilitated by this for a while?
I think it's going to take a while to heal it. Unfortunately, I'm getting about up to a year to heal it
Oh, yeah.
fully.
See, I need to lose weight because it's putting pressure on the nerve there
Mm.
under the belly. But in order to lose weight, I have to exercise, but I can't really exercise because it hurts to walk. So,
Ah, yeah. So you really need that dosage to work. I feel when you swap over to Monjaro, it's going to work out really well for you. Now, the other thing that we
okay.
were talking about this morning is it matters like where you inject it in the body. Some people, so try to inject it in different spots. So some people use their thighs, some people use their arms, some people use their stomach. I noticed when I inject on my right side of my stomach, it's not as potent as the left side of my stomach, but it's different for everybody else. Okay. So I would play around with the places and make note if it's really strong, if you inject it in a particular place. Apparently there's a load of TikTok videos about this.
Yep.
So I would just research that. Yeah. Well,
All right.
great.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for
Bye.
tuning in all the way from Oz. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take one more and then I'm going to have a cup of tea. Um, and probably pass out in bed. All right, Athena, here you are, my love. There
Hi,
you go.
Liz. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
I
Thank
can. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for taking me. I just found out about you and CTT, so I'm trying to resolve a Monday morning schedule conflict so I can start attending the group. So with that said, you were talking about different cycles in different lifetimes, and in this lifetime, I'm on the victim track extreme. I was born into multi-generational mental illness on both sides, heavy indoctrination and emotional abuse as a child, and also quite a bit of medical injury that I've received at the hands of others that have really, had
Mhm.
huge impacts on my life. So my question is, it's been truly an excruciating life, and I've never known anything except for depression, and I've been working on things consciously my whole life. The problem is I'm now 64 years old. Nothing has really worked for me, and I continue to stay stuck. So my first question would be, am I paying a karmic debt for maybe having been an abuser in previous lifetimes?
Ooh, first of all, you sound like you're 25. So
Oh, thank you.
congratulations. You do. I was like, she's how old? What? Um, you don't sound 64. You sound like you're full of life and you are
Oh,
25. Seriously, I'm serious about that. You have a very young voice. Okay, let's look in your past life. Okay, we want to know what this is going on with Athena. So let's give us something. Okay, yes, here we go. I see you. Ooh, you were around in biblical times. Okay. Wow. And I see you as this young girl, probably 14. You were 14 or 15. And I see you, there's a small fire, and you're praying into the fire. It's like, I'm asking you, what are you, why are you praying? You know that there's a God. Okay. So, wow. I've only had maybe one or two of these before where people have been around. There's actually one lady in the group that is always around in some biblical transition time. That's just what her soul likes. But you are definitely in this biblical transition. But it's like I'm keeping everything secret. You don't let anybody know. So when you have this quiet time, you are praying to one God. I feel that this is when we were shifting into one God as opposed to, lots of gods and lots of different spirits, spirit of the water, all of that. But you had to be top secret. So
mm.
what is it you can tell us? Let me ask, what is it you can tell us about? You can't let them know who you are. You're always living your life in secret, okay? You're always having to hide your true self.
Mm.
You were not allowed to be authentic. Even in this lifetime, you were not allowed to be authentic. You had to be like them, and they were going to make you like them. You were not allowed to be an individual. You had to take on all of the toxic traits of all of these people that were raising you and that were around you. And that's what you had to do in order to survive. You had to mold yourself into them, and you hated it. You hated every minute of it. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't want to be anything like them. You couldn't wait to escape. But even escaping and running away from that, you're spending a lifetime running away from it. Their belief systems do not match the belief system of your soul. So then we have to ask, why? what is it that you're doing here? It's this trying to unravel and find out who you actually are, because you don't actually know. I feel that you're peeling off the layers, but you really don't know who you are. You're trying to find who you are, but every time you're trying to find who you are, there's a spanner in the work. Like you're trying to heal, you're trying to do the healing work, and something happens and it sets you back. Something happens, sets you back. You understand that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's because you're only allowed to move as far forward in your consciousness as the soul family. Because even on the earth plane where they want you to be like them, they want you to be like them down all the way down to the soul level as well. So if they're not able to heal their traumas, neither are you, because we're all in this together. And how dare you move forward in your soul more so than we are. And we're not going to allow that to happen. And your soul feels firmly attached to this soul group. Okay? Even though you may have moved on with your conscious mind, in your soul is firmly attached to them. And it actually has a lot of fear there of moving into a new soul family. You're so used to being around this soul family. And really, what is required here is either A, they have to heal, which I feel is almost impossible. I feel like they're a family of narcissists. I feel like you don't have a clue what you're talking about. It's all about them, never about you. You're bullied a lot. I feel like you can't even really have these discussions with them. Certainly you didn't used to. And your soul is really scared to make that transition away from them. So you have got to work on the fear within your soul and work on empowering yourself to find a soul family that, you remember what we got? We got that you need to make soul contracts with those souls that unconditionally love you. Now, I do feel that there is unconditional love there, but almost toxic because they don't want you to move ahead. And you're going to have to knock this fear out of your soul so that your soul feels empowered to make better decisions about the contracts it makes. Now, again, you can use the CTT to send that information to your soul. You can use the CTT to overcome and heal and understand any and all of these soul contracts you've made with these people that you were around at an early age that shaped your energy field. There's a lot of work still to be done. And I feel that going forward, you will start to free yourself of it's like you're at a roadblock, right? You just constantly hit these roadblocks, but you're going to have to free yourself. So, there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to free myself from these traps that are holding me back in a negative and unhealthy way. That part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. And that's what I'm getting for you. I think that the next point of healing, what I'm getting, is to make that break from the soul family. So I hope that all makes sense, Athena.
It does. Narcissism has been a huge issue in my life, and I'm very, very well aware of it. I've certainly left them consciously, but like you said, maybe there's, I'm not getting to the root of the emotion. But I thought I heard you say earlier that it's really hard to leave your soul family.
It is. It is hard because your soul and all of the souls, most of the souls, we like to travel together. We know, this is what we're used to. We're not given a manual how to navigate these waters. We go with what we know.
Okay, so
It
but it
is.
sounds like it's a choice, though. It's not like I can't. It's that I choose not to. So far.
Right. So you're
Okay.
making the conscious mind decision to send the information to the soul that it's actually okay and that there is something better out there for you, and not to fear the change. But make sure you're doing your interview process properly when you're up there designing your lifetimes. Again, we're going to try to come up with a checklist. In the group, we're going to try to come up with a checklist of what we need and what would be appropriate for our next lifetimes. We have to make better decisions. Because these souls at this point, they're holding you back. And not only that, they're going nowhere. They cannot heal these and resolve these problems. They're just going round and round. I feel that they can be quite vicious. Okay. I
Yeah.
feel that they're volatile. 1 minute they're peaceful, the next minute they turn angry and flash anger in no time at all. Do you understand that?
Yes, and I left them, in this life a long time ago, like
Mhm.
but like I think you're right about the fact that emotionally I clearly haven't completely left them, even though logistically I have. Consciously I have.
Right. And the conscious mind is fantastic while it's here on the earth plane, okay? But that's all it is. It's here on the earth plane. You've got to get that info excuse me. You've got to get that information into the soul, because the conscious mind just dissolves here on the earth plane, right? It doesn't go into spirit with you. It doesn't carry over. So it's
Right.
very, very important that going forward, you're sending and you're making the best use of this time to send that information to the soul. Hey, soul, wake up. This is what we got to do. This right here, it's not working for us. I know that there's a better soul family out there for me that can help me grow and learn in a positive way. I don't need to be knocked down and dragged out, you know, in every single lifetime by these people, because these souls that you keep making contracts with are extremely strong souls. Okay.
Hmm.
You wouldn't want to meet them in a dark alley. And I mean that, right? They're strong and they're fiery and they're angry. And that's something that they carry with them because they can't resolve their issues. You, on the other hand, you tend to go through each and every lifetime trying to resolve your issues quietly, just like the girl by the fire or the little candlelight, whatever that fire was. And you're now transitioning and you're now changing and adapting to new spiritual information, right? They're not capable of doing that. They're so stuck, it's not even funny. Their soul consciousness has been in the ice age and hasn't come out of the freezer since then. I mean, I'm telling you, they're going nowhere. So, two choices. You can either work on healing them, and it's going to spend a lot of time doing so, or you use that time and you say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. There has to be better options. I've got to free myself from this soul family.
Okay, thank you so much. That's so helpful because I've been feeling this pressure. Like I'm 64, I don't have that much more time. And I just have this sense like that there's something I've got to do, got to figure out some progress I got to make before, while I'm still here. And that really helps me understand, what it is and what I need to focus on. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And, we love that you're here, right? I mean, people that are here doing the CTT, I mean, you guys are really doing a lot of self work, and I find that most of the people that come through to the CTT, they're not, they're not spring chickens to the spiritual information. And I'm not talking about an age. I'm talking about just in their consciousness. They have been searching high and low. They know a lot. They've done a lot of self work. They've tried to manifest. They're working towards their goals, and this is just another step in the right direction. People that come to the CTT, they find it very rewarding and they find it to be, you know, very expansive of their consciousness. So I think it's going to work out well for you. Just stick with it. I think if you stick with it, what I'm getting is that you will be a totally different person than what you are now. A year from now, you're going to look back and say, oh my God, like, who was I? And that's very typical. It's very typical response of people that do the CTT for quite some time. So, wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I am exhausted and I'm going to go to bed. But thank you all so much. Again, if you do have any residual questions about the CTT, we do the group every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central. You find the link on the Patreon, patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. But failing that, if you can't come to the group, there's always the recordings. And as long as you keep it short and sweet, you can email me. Don't write me pages and pages and pages and pages and more pages and novels. And I open my emails. I'm so sorry. And I know you put in a lot of time and effort when you guys email me, and I love you all. And I'm so blessed that you think that highly of me to write me your life story. And I love it. But when I see a very, very, very long email, I tend to think about the time commitment because I get hundreds of emails per day, and I'll tend to shove that sort of in my wait list pile to go back to. And then usually it gets buried under all my other emails. So sometimes I do make it back to those very long emails. A lot of times I don't. So just try to keep it short and sweet. And that way I can give you an answer back as soon as possible and quickly. All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone. And you guys have a nice evening. I appreciate everything you do for me. Thank you. Good night.